Senior pictures is literally right around the corner. And by right around the corner, I mean today. So we have a couple hours to do the ultimate get ready with me. I'm talking skincare, makeup, outfits, hair, jewelry, everything. While I talk about senior year college life and everything that's happened in the past 4 years and how I'm feeling post-grad. So first, this is a bit scary, so let's take this off. Oh my gosh. They were not lying when they said this is brightening. I used the brightening facial sheet mask. I got it from the beauty supply store. And it has lemon extract, kiwi fruit extract, avocado extract, and snow lotus extract. What the heck? Why do I look so glowy? Yeah. Wait, that's actually scary. I'm always scared about things that say brightening in it because for me, brightening usually means like lightning, and I'm not trying to lighten like my melanin. We're gonna wait for this to soak in, and then we're gonna do the rest of our skincare. Tune in. Just putting on a lip mask. This is the Bath & Body Works Nourishing Lip Mask. I can't believe I'm in my second semester of senior year. College definitely flew by so fast. I know people always say that, like, really take in college, make sure you get all the experiences because it really flies by. But it really did fly. And I've noticed that since freshman year, like my first semester, it genuinely flew by so fast. It's a bit weird. Now we're senior, we have grown so much, we've experienced so much, we have so many different thought processes than we did coming into college. And if I'm being honest, like what really surprised me genuinely was number one, how fast it flew by, and number two, like the expectations that you set for yourself coming into college will radically change if you welcome that change and challenge and critique all the thoughts and biases that you came into college with, and will radically transform the way you think, the way you act, the way you feel, and especially the way you move around in this world, which I think that's kind of what college should be for, you know, an experience where it really changes you, because who you are as an 18-year-old is not maybe who you are when you're 22. My 18-year-old self and my 22-year-old self is so different. I never thought that I changed this much, but 4 years is really a lot when you're experiencing life on your own. You're battling different challenges. Relationships are different than when they were in high school. Like in high school, you see these people constantly all the time, same classes and everything, and you're just a small group of people constantly together. But in college, friendships and just relationships are just completely different. But I think that's one of the things that was definitely surprising, when just the way like you're changing and you just are so different, and how you don't really lean on the support of people that you've been leaning on for support for your entire life. You know, you start leaning on yourself a lot more. You start having to be more self-reliable. My hair is like all over the place, so I hope y'all like the lighting. I'm trying to do natural lighting because sometimes the artificial one is just a bit too glaring for me. I'm gonna go in with Tone Brightening and Ampere. This one is by Centella. Most of my skincare products are by Centella. It's because it's what my siblings used and they really liked it, so I also hopped on the bandwagon because when it comes to my sisters, I'm a follower, loud and proud. It's 10:40 right now. We're gonna let all of this soak in our skin for at least 20 minutes before we get started on the makeup. My pictures aren't until 3, so I will be Ubering there. If I get done a bit early, my dad will take me, but if not, we're just gonna have to Uber, I fear. My mirror is right behind you guys, which is why I'm looking over there. I guess I can talk a bit about what I thought college would be. Honestly, the expectations that I had for college were mainly things fueled from shows, probably TV shows that you grew up watching, like Degrassi, maybe like a little bit of Vampire Diaries. They barely show like the college experience, but still, like those kind of shows, you just see college as this thing that's like, wow, so cool. You're gonna have so much fun. You're gonna be partying, going to frat parties, having so much friends, meeting so much guys, maybe joining a sorority, doing all these clubs and things like that. But it is completely different, at least for me. I'm talking about my personal experience. I mean, I've met people who do go to those parties, who do join sororities, and they have their own separate, you know, life. But me, growing up as the daughter of an immigrant, you guys already know my parents are from Togo, so I am Togolese American, and they literally immigrated to the United States for a better life for their kids. So when I think about college, all throughout high school, I was grinding. I was working. Freshman year of high school, I'm like, let me fool around a bit. I still got all my work done and good grades, like great grades. But I also decided to have a little bit of fun. As an extracurricular, I did bands. I did debate for a bit in middle school, but I just liked the music program so much more, and the music director was absolutely incredible. So I decided to stay with that program all 4 years of high school. But I still did the IB program, and if you know anything about that, it's a 2-year rigorous pre-college program that really prepares you for college. Extremely rigorous. That's where I really got introduced to this idea of international relations and studying global politics, and I did a political engagement assignment, and that really just jump started my career into studying IR and human rights and international law, which was an incredible experience. And I'm going to go more into detail about that for those of my girls who are interested in IR, political science, and just human rights, all those great, fun, interesting things. But when I got to college, I did feel a bit prepared. Freshman year, first semester, yeah, things were a breeze because you're taking those 4 classes that you need, and it just flew by quickly. But I think I overestimated the amount of work that I could handle in college, because when I was doing the IB, I was taking I don't know how many classes, so much, and they were so like high level, but I was able to get through it. Like, it was pain and suffering, but I was able to get through it. I'm gonna go with the bio now. But when I got to college, it was just different. I was taking less classes, but it was still a lot of work because it was more fast paced. College is only like 3 months, like per semester is only 3 months. So freshman year of college, I decided not to do any sort of extracurriculars or clubs. I did go to some clubs just to get a feel around the school. So I attend a school for diplomacy, and I wanted to know some of the other kids that were in the program and kind of hear about just the way that they were moving through the program. I wanted to hear from sophomores, juniors, and seniors about where they began and where they ended up. I thought that was really cool and interesting to hear, but I didn't really join those clubs. I really wanted to just focus on my classes. But even then, just not doing anything, I just felt, as a commuter, I felt so disconnected from college life. It was incredibly hard to make friends. I made my first close friend, Nicole, in actually Russian class. So if you're a Diplo student, you have to minor in a language, and I decided Russian. That's a story for another time. But I met her in that class, and we have been friends ever since. She is amazing. I love Nicole. She's so funny. We're always cracking up in class. I would not have survived Russian if it wasn't for her. I promise I would not, because I don't really talk to any of the other students in the class. My college is small, so there's like maybe like minimum 10 kids in my Russian class, and I don't really talk to majority of them. But Nicole, we bonded pretty quickly. She was like the only other Black kid in the class, and girl as well. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna stick by you. And we ended up just sticking together throughout our entire college experience. Just waiting for like the rest of my skincare to set in before I go in with the moisturizer, if I could find it. This moisturizer, this is the Centella as well. They have 2, but I like this one because my skin is very dry, so I just like thick moisturizers, so my skin can be very hydrated and protected, especially in these harsh cold winter months. I need something incredibly hydrating. As you can see, I got my eyebrows done. I can't do good makeup if my eyebrows aren't done because it just looks weird, and I don't like using the concealer to conceal and do all that stuff because I just find it to be very time consuming. It is 10:47. I'm gonna start my makeup 11:10. So I was talking about my college experience. Basically, as a freshman, I got overwhelmed pretty quickly, even though I wasn't participating in anything, and I still just wanted to be go because I'm like, I have a goal. Like, I have to go to law school right out of undergrad. I have to keep my GPA up. I just put so much expectations on myself that when I didn't meet those expectations, it literally felt like my entire life had gone wrong. So that's one advice I would give: to, yes, set expectations for yourself, but don't build your entire identity around those expectations, because I promise you will have an identity crisis, and that is not something you want to deal with while you're still trying to figure yourself out as a person. 18 to 20 and like early 20s, we're trying to figure out who you are when you're not under your parents, when your parents don't have all these expectations for you, when your family, your community, and just the people you grew up with don't have all these expectations for you. You have to start building up your own expectations, and you have to start figuring out what it is that you really want to get out of life, for yourself, not for your family, not for your friends, not for what your younger self thought it would be. That's a huge lesson that I had to learn and understand. And I didn't really start learning until like first semester of senior year, really, when like things went a bit downhill. But that's a tip for you guys. Now compared to freshman year, like I said, I feel very different. I definitely do feel prepared. Like, I feel like my college definitely prepared me for the field that I want to enter in terms of like international law, human rights, global politics. I definitely think it pretty much prepared me in terms of research capabilities, critical thinking skills, analytical tools to interpret like, all these things that are going on in the world. There's just so much. Okay, I'm just gonna take this off. There's just so many different things that they have given me. I've gotten so many great internship opportunities that I'll talk about in a separate video because that would just take too long. That's pretty much how I feel now compared to freshman year. Like freshman year, I went into college thinking a certain way and then came out just with a totally different new mindset, constantly questioning the information that I am presented with, constantly questioning my own thoughts, not in like a hypercritical way, but more in a critical thinking kind of way that helps you tackle your own biases and just develop you better as a person. Maybe that's why they don't want us going into college. Now we are going to transition into makeup after I take a break and let this all sink in. Now, time for my favorite part, which is, of course, makeup. I have my main makeup bag here. Majority of all of my products are in here. And then I have my lip combo bag right here that my sister got me for my birthday. And then I have my brush bag right here. So I'm going to be looking over here because that's where my mirror is, but also my notes are here. So I'm going to be looking like... So I'm going to be doing 2 primers because I want this makeup to stick. We want this makeup to look great. This beat needs to look great. So of course we're going to start with the Maybelline Girly Serum because it is just the absolute best. It is so pretty, so cute. I actually love it so much. It has not failed me yet. While we're doing makeup, we're going to be talking about confidence, identity that I touched a bit on before, and growing up. And then we're going to go in with the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Glow Serum that I've really been liking. My sister actually got me this for my birthday. Apply it to my cheeks. Oh, not the hair. It's gross. And take a brush. This is a tongue multifunction brush. A brush that I got from my sister as well. I know I talked a bit about how college helped me figure out more about myself, but there's definitely things that I'm still unsure about. Things like relationships, friendships, customs that I grew up with, traditions. I'm having questions about my relationship with God, and that's always been a huge factor in my identity. I feel like I'm always questioning things in general. Not too surprising that I'm questioning all these different variables in my life. When you go into college, you think you're going to come out feeling 100% certain about yourself, and that's not exactly the case. And when that doesn't happen, don't be afraid. I feel like all of life is really just figuring out what it is that works best for you, what it is that you like to do. For me personally, this is my personal advice. You truly need to decenter everything in your life. I'm talking relationships, friendships, and this doesn't mean abandoning those things that you grew up with. It just means not making everything that is around you about you. When someone acts a certain way, it doesn't mean it's about you. When things don't go the way that you expected it to, it doesn't mean that it stems from you. Not everything is about you. So in a way, you're kind of decentering yourself, but also decentering other people's impact and other things impact and events, circumstances that life throws at you, and just trying to focus more on yourself and truly trying to see, okay, what is this experience teaching me? What is this friendship teaching me? What is this relationship teaching me? What is this class that I'm taking teaching me? What can I benefit or gain from this? So yeah, I came out of college knowing so much more about myself that I didn't know prior, but there's still so much more that I'm unsure about. And now I'm in a position where I'm honestly not too anxious about it, where I'm just genuinely enjoying the experience of figuring things out for myself and just seeing what more life has to offer than my hometown, what more life has to offer than just the people I grew up with and the circumstances of my life. Use those circumstances, of course, because they're so important and pivotal to your growth, but also allow other experiences to change you and shape you in ways that you never thought possible. and being okay with being unsure about where you are in life. I think that's where I'm trying to get. I'm saying all this like as if I'm like this great philosopher and like I've got it all figured out, but no, this is really just my way of communicating how I'm feeling a bit. And that's just the growing up part. This is probably not the best time to be experimenting with the new lip combo, but I really want to try the lip liner stain by Suchu. This is 03 Pink. So I'm just gonna try this. I saw a TikTok that said the trick is to not leave it on for too long, and she left it on for 3 minutes, so that's all I'm gonna do. I look a bit crazy right now, but we're gonna go in with the concealer on the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 050. And while that's setting, we're going to do a bit spot concealing with actually the curve case. I also got this for my sister for my birthday. So we're gonna go with like a dark shade and just start spot concealing. I talked a bit about growing up, but I also want to talk about confidence and just how I developed throughout college. I'm shy. I can say that. I'm shy. I'm socially anxious. I don't like being in large spaces with a large group of people that I don't know. Or even if I do know the people, it just makes me uncomfortable, which growing up with an mainly extrovert family was a bit hard because they're just so outgoing and everyone just wants to befriend them and be friends with them, but like people are like, who is she? Like, why is she not talking to anyone? And everyone's always like, oh, I thought you were mad, like I thought you hated me. And it's like, no, I'm just in the zone because I'm really paying attention to what everyone's doing and making sure that nothing crazy is going on around me. Basically, that's what's happening essentially. Does that look fine? I don't know, it's not gonna be perfect, but yeah, that's essentially who I am. And it's like, wait, you want to be a lawyer and you're like anxious and shy? That's the questions that I have for myself. Like, how am I gonna be successful in this field if it's hard for me to speak up in class? It's hard for me to raise my hand and say something. It's hard for me to, not too hard for me to stand up for myself. I can do that fine, but like in terms of standing up for myself and not feeling horrible about it later, you know? I just had all these questions about my character and didn't know if that was compatible with the career field that I was trying to go in. But I knew that this was set. Like I'm going to be a lawyer. Okay, I'm gonna take this off right now. Okay, that's actually really dark. I'm scared. Wait. I'm gonna use a bit of the makeup remover. We need to buffer this down a bit so I don't go looking too crazy out there. I feel like it doesn't look too bad. It's giving like a light pink, which I really like. And I'm gonna go with the Clover one, the 05, just to outline. I can't do this and talk, so I'm just not even gonna try. So for foundation, we're gonna go on with the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter, and this is in the shade 6 Tan Deep, and then the Joa BB cream is a medium coverage in the shade Mocha. So as I was saying, there was no way like in hell I was gonna change career directions just because I was shy. Like I knew my goals, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew that the field I was entering was going to be hard as a woman because there's so many barriers in place for you as a woman to be successful in this field or to even have access to a field like this. My thought process was literally fake it till I made it and then also just suck it up. Like, okay, yeah, you're gonna be in a room with people you don't know. You're not gonna know what you're talking about. I mean, freshman year in my intro to IR class, I had absolutely no idea what they were talking about in that class. Yes, it's an intro to IR class, but I swear these people like read a different book than me or took some more different classes, and I understood that I came from a low-income background and that played a role into the amount of civic education and political education that I got growing up. It was very, very limited. They focus a lot more on STEM when you come from low-income backgrounds. So I knew that I was already disadvantaged and it sucked so much. There definitely needs to be something done about this because this is incredibly unfair, I would say, that the disadvantages in the education that we got. So I knew that I had to put in extra work to go to office hours, speak to professors, do my own research. I started reading so much to the point where I feel so much more confident in what I'm saying when I'm speaking in class or something. And it's not because I'm a senior. Yeah, like I needed like time to grow and things like that. But also just because I started watching the news so much more. I started reading news articles so much more. Where's my... We have to go in with the beauty blender because this is a bit outrageous. It's not bad, but I'm just being dramatic. But I want to go in with the beauty blender. Oh, I just realized I should have done my eyebrows first, but that's gonna be done off camera. It's the brush that my sister got me. I'm gonna use a concealer brush for my bronzer. I don't really contour, and for my bronzer, I mix You Ask for This and Vivacious because I think that just gives the best look. But because my foundation is a bit darker now, I may need to go a bit darker. We shall see. Yeah, I think I need to go a bit darker, honestly. Yeah. So yeah, I had to put in my own extra hours and do my own work to make sure that I was staying on top of my lessons. You're probably like, well, it's college, you should be doing readings anyway. But no, I just feel like in order to truly feel confidence in my field, I had to do work beyond what I was given in class. Honestly, try to become as smart as I possibly could and as educated about a topic as I possibly could. You know, I started on TikTok, see what's on there, and if I really want to do research, I go into like Google Scholar. That's an incredible resource. Definitely get into that. Yes? I don't know. Man, I drew like 2. Okay, just connecting it. Look how like bronze and glowy I look. I'm not trying to brag that like I'm the smartest person in the room. No, it's just something that I wanted to do to understand more about the topics that I was learning in class, the topics that interested me, and to just be able to contribute to conversations in class in a more meaningful way. Because I think think everyone brings a different perspective to conversations in class, and you don't have to center it around, you know, like just the big 3, like realism, liberalism, and constructivism. What background you came up with. Like, I'm low income, immigrant family, totally American, grew up in Newark. You just bring different perspectives to conversations, and I wanted to bring my perspective. I wanted to make sure that people who had biases towards certain things were able to hear my opinions and thoughts. And just being more comfortable with the topics I was learning made me more confident as a person and helped me learn how to carry myself more in a confident manner. To not really think about what other people in class were saying or things like that, but just to focus on myself and make sure that the lesson that I wanted to share was heard and communicated effectively and efficiently. I'm gonna blend out my first concealer. I used to blend out concealer with this. I just want to try it again. I like how it just gets into every crevice. I never know if it's like picking up a lot of the products or not. And I do want to bring it down a bit, just so there's like a nice flow of things. I can talk a little bit more about how I grew into being in more serious spaces, like going to some of the events that the School of Diplomacy that I attend would do, where we'd invite in world leaders to come and speak to us, and I'd be able to moderate events and things like that. But also spaces where I grew my leadership skills, and that mainly has to do with clubs. At a point, yes, you do have to do some sort of extracurricular activity, and the one that I decided to do was, it wasn't until my junior year, and it was a club that 2 guys that I knew from my Russian class founded, based on raising awareness for human trafficking. And we know just how relevant that is, especially with the entire Epstein file and Epstein Island ordeal. It was just a topic that was very important to me, that I wanted to see if I can contribute to in any way, and I ended up joining as the director of impact and events. I'm gonna go in with the Morphe blush. This is the Wine and Dine one, Cheek Throws. I'm gonna do this before I go in with my second layer of concealer. I'm using the top, and I'm gonna put it right onto the concealer. I'm doing like a sharp blush look, but also like a sun-kissed kind of look. I like them both together. Now I'm gonna go with the NYX Bear With Me concealer serum. I like this. This is in the shade Deep Golden. I'm not gonna do a lot, but I do want to do like a sharp there, and then we're gonna go in with the regular spots. I did my eyebrows and eye makeup, kind of. I don't really know how to do eye makeup, but I attempted it. I'm not deepening it too much, honestly. I'm just gonna leave it like this, and then I'm gonna put my lashes on after I do mascara and everything, because I don't want anything coming on the lashes if I even decide to do lashes. So yeah, I joined this club, and because I was director of impact and events, that meant that I was doing kind of a lot. So you'd have to meet with different organizations, different people who are involved in this field, and try to see if you can get speakers to come in, and also reach out to other orgs who may want to potentially collab. I know we want to do something with the Criminal Justice Club that just formed, and through that I was able to not only develop great communication skills virtually, like sending emails and things like that, but also it kind of helps you learn how to communicate across different agencies and organizations and try to just get everyone together on a topic that you're passionate about and see if you can be of any benefit to the field. You know, you want to just put yourself out there, and I think being a part of an org that was bigger than me, like the program was bigger than me, helped me see myself as, okay girl, like none of that shyness, none of that social awkwardness or anxiety. This is bigger than you, and this is something that you really want to put your all into. And I think I personally like give myself a pat on the back because I feel like I did that pretty well. I loved it. Like, it was the only club that I was really heavily involved in. I like the people that were a part of it. I met so many different people, very interesting people that I wound up being super close with as well through the club. It just helped me be more confident in myself. It made me feel like I was an expert when I'm really not like an expert. We're gonna blend the concealer now. I'm gonna crease this all the way. I kind of want to listen to music, but then I can't really talk, so I'm gonna go in with the toasted terracotta. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm honestly not sure. It's just a bit more pale. I like it, and it's actually giving orange, which honestly my outfit is gold, so I'm getting distracted. But yeah, I actually moderated my first event this semester. It was for the Oslo Freedom Forum, where they come to colleges with activists who are fighting for democracy and fighting against authoritarianism and authoritarian regimes. And I moderated that event, and it was honestly amazing. It was a great learning experience. We had a Tibetan activist, Shimi Mamo. She shared her experiences about nonviolent resistance against the Chinese Communist Party and just her fight for freedom for Tibet, essentially. And I got to speak to her about her experience as an activist. It's an interesting time to be having these conversations, not to go on a rant or a tangent, but we're experiencing the rise of authoritarianism, and I think now more than ever we need to rethink how we think about power and put more women not only in positions of power, but let those women shape the way we think about power. I'm gonna have a little bit more to say about that the more I dive into what I want this channel to look like, because I think it's so important to have these conversations, and I just want to express my views about certain things and also invite you guys to share your views and see where we can meet in the middle and shape a different world, a better world for us and the next generation. I found that to be a full circle moment because I sort of got into the human rights world learning about the human rights violations against the Uyghur Muslims in China. So to be able to speak to a Tibetan activist, it was a great experience. All these different opportunities for leadership that gave me confidence as someone entering this space, as a woman entering into this space that is predominantly dominated by men. Yeah. Now we're gonna back up on the education side and talked about how I've changed a bit more socially, you know, social wise. I'm gonna set this with the Milani Make It Last Original Setting Spray. I love this. One of many spurts we're gonna do. So going into college, I didn't have a social life, and now leaving college, I still do not have a social life. Many of my hangouts consist of me going out with my high school friends, just because I didn't really connect with a lot of people on campus, because I didn't really give myself an opportunity to deeply connect with people to the point where I feel like I can go out with you outside of class or this club and hang out with you. I just view friendships in a very deep manner, just because I tend to develop pretty deep emotional connections with people, and I just didn't really see that in any of my friendships, I would say. So I focused so much more on just my academics and my career readiness that I wasn't really worried about social life. My school wasn't a big party school, nor did I really want to go to parties. I should preface by saying, like, I am Christian, but also I just don't drink. Like, I don't like the taste of alcohol, and being drunk is not fun, at least to me. And I know that's not what college is all about in terms of social life. You can have a social life by, I don't know, like going to dinner and things like that, but I just didn't go out a lot, also because I do live at home. I do have strict parents, and I don't like dealing with the constant questions about where I'm going, who I'm hanging with, and it's just, respectfully, it's incredibly annoying. But and it's like, I'm 22, like, are we serious? I'm gonna do a bit of an experiment and just pray to God that it works out. I'm gonna try, like, my sister got me a tester of the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush finish. This is in shade medium. It is light. This is a risk that ended up being great. Like, what the heck? I don't know why I thought it'd be like so much more lighter. I kind of like it. I'm gonna go with the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. It is 12:43, so we are doing actually pretty good on timing. I have like 2 hours still until my pictures, so that's good, especially since I still have to get dressed. That's what I wanted, because it's sharp, so I want my sharp baby. I love powder. Like I mentioned, I am socially anxious. I don't like being out if I don't have to be out. That's why you'll probably like never catch me like at the function or whatever. It takes a lot for my siblings to convince me to go out. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm really not. I don't like being around a lot of people. I don't know, like I mentioned this, like I said it. My siblings are very extrovert. As I said, they're very social. People love hanging out with them. Like, wherever they go, like, people just naturally gravitate towards them. And that just makes me super anxious. I don't know, maybe I'm just being a bit dramatic. I'm gonna go with the Morphe again, but now we're gonna go in with a powder blush. This is like a deep kind of red. I've actually not used this yet, so try this out with me, I guess. But yeah, social wise, nothing's changed. I don't know, maybe like if I go to grad school or law school or just get a job or a fellowship or whatever, maybe I'll finally start like switching it up and like hanging out and stuff like that. But it's just never something that really interested me. I do want to go back in with a Charlotte Tilbury again, just to brighten a bit. While we're letting that sit a bit, we're gonna start on the lip combo. Ooh, I'm so excited for this. I use a mixture of Very Berry and Toasted Terracotta. I'm gonna go in with the Kiss New York lipstick, satin lipstick in the shade Latte Foam. Now the NYX Butter Gloss. This is in the shade Salty Cocoa. That's pretty much socially like what I mean when I say I don't have a social life. And for the most part, I don't really mind it. I'm going with the She Makeup Waterproof Eye and Lip Pencil. This is just, I don't think it has a shade. I literally think it's just called brown. But I will say I may not have a, you know, common college social life or whatever you expect college social life to look like, but socially I have changed. I think I've become much more approachable. Nothing's beating this resting face, apparently. Like, that's not going anywhere. But communication wise, I'm more able to do that than before. Before I used to be so shy, like, please don't talk to me. But now I can, like, you know, confidently raise my hand and talk in class, or do those club fairs and talk to new people who are potentially interested in joining the club that I'm a part of. Things that I wouldn't have even signed up to do 4 years ago. You wouldn't catch me doing none of those things. I'm thinking of adding pink. I don't know. This is the NK lip shiner lip gloss in the shade Pink Truffle. I think I added a bit just in the middle, just to give my lips a bit more. That was the right thing to do. It is 1 o'clock. We have to start getting dressed soon. Last but not least, we are going to set the entirety of my face with the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. Make sure everything has a nice cohesive look to it. Added a lot of powder, so I really want to melt this in great. That's like the makeup portion where I talk about confidence and identity and just growing up. I will meet you back when I'm about to do my hair. Peace. Makeup for the most part is done. I think I may do some final touches later. Okay, but I'm gonna do my hair really quickly, and we're gonna be talking about just friendship and memories. This is like an awkward angle to be at, but I don't want to sit, so because I want to look at what I'm doing. See, make sure like I'm not fudging this up completely. Like I mentioned a bit about friendships in college. I only really have one super close friend, and I've made other friends through like orgs and things like that. I know one great memory that I had was actually Thanksgiving. Like I had a Friendsgiving, and Thanksgiving's not a big fan of the holiday. It never really wound up being what I liked it to be, so that's why I kind of like Friendsgiving, because it gives me a chance to, you know, shape it to be kind of how I want it to be. That's pretty much it for like the hair. Like, what do we think? What are we thinking in terms of layers, in terms of like I like the bounce that it's giving. I think I'm gonna do outfit, and I'm gonna show you guys the outfit that I have. Hold on, I'm gonna bring this up more. Oh, not that much. What the heck am I doing? I have to leave in like 30 minutes, so I'm a bit on a time crunch, but this is a shirt that I got from my sister. We were trying to find the pink one, but we couldn't find it, so we settled for the gold, but it's not really settling because I love it. So I'm gonna go put this on. Let me end this right here actually, because okay, I have the gold shirt on. This is really like how it looks. It's like, this is it. This is the back. It's just a regular shirt, I guess, regular dressy shirt. And then I have this little cute top that my sister gave me. All this is from my sister's closet, by the way. What I learned about people from college is that just because you work well together in a club or like a class project or assignment, it doesn't mean you guys are going to be besties for college. Unless you want to make that friendship more deep than it is, then sure, go about doing that. But I don't want anyone to have any expectations for like, you know, just because you worked in a group project with someone that you guys are going to be, you know, super close all of a sudden and start hanging out, things like that. And sometimes that really does happen, and you can find your friends great that way. But oftentimes that's not really the case. There are people I've talked with in class that I'm like, wait, you're actually super cool, but I know that this probably isn't gonna go anywhere outside of class, so I don't set super high expectations for people, honestly. Any good memories, I would say, honestly, let me find my dress pant and then I got you. This dress pant I got from Mad Rag, and I just love it. Like it's just, I love a good dress pant. I'm trying to figure out a hairstyle that I wanted to do. I think I'm gonna stick with this one, honestly. Like behind and then in the front. Okay. Depends on jewelry. It depends on jewelry. This is kind of like the hair that I'm going for. This is crochet. I ordered 2 packs, and I used 1 full pack and then a bit of the second pack just to make it a bit more fuller, because I love a good full hairstyle. I'm still gonna try to figure out exactly what it is I want to do with my hair for these pictures. I kind of like one in the front and the rest in the back, but maybe not tuck it behind my ear. Ugh. I feel like I should show the entire fit. I don't have a full body mirror though. Like, I'm literally just like going off of hopes and dreams. Should I add a belt? I should add a belt. This is actually the belt that came with it, and it's gold, so it matches perfectly. Good memories, mainly I would say, if I'm talking about class, I would say my Russian classes, because we just end up having really good conversations, and people like distract the professors into talking about their background, their history, where they came from. It makes me learn so much more about an entire different culture that I previously had no exposure to. I mean, where I grew up was predominantly Black, Hispanic, African, so learning more about Russians and the Eastern European world was very interesting, if I do say so myself. Other memories, oh, so a great one that I actually just had for spring break. I just went to DC, and I connected with so many amazing women, but also 2 guys as well that are on the pre-law track, and we just had a great time in DC. We visited the White House, Supreme Court. I actually got this baby from the Supreme Court. I named her SJ. That was a really fun. It was like 3 days. It was such a fun experience. Like, hello. I'm on a time crunch, so like I gotta keep it pushing, unfortunately. I'm high-key a bit annoyed because I wanted to wear a specific type of earring, but I can't find it, and I'm not wasting time to look for that right now. I just really don't have the time for that. I'm gonna talk a bit about post-grad, my future, and like the feelings of uncertainty that I've been feeling, which have been a lot. I don't really know what's next for me. I think the plan was always to go straight through law school, but I have a specific, I guess, vision. This better go in. You can't even really see it. I don't want to, it's so small, I don't want to wear it. I've had a specific vision that I've wanted for myself in terms of law school, and I just didn't quite meet that yet. And I don't want to rush into anything that I don't feel 100% comfortable doing. I wanted to wear this necklace. It's stacked. I thought it'd be cute. I have to leave in like 10 minutes. I was wearing this necklace yesterday. I tried on this outfit at my sister's place, and I liked it with the necklace. Honestly, I have been feeling like the pressure to have a plan. Everyone just wants to know what's going to happen after grad. Want to make sure that you are living a relatively stable life. I would say it's important, like I said, to not build your identity around a certain set of ideals that you want for yourself. Like, you can have those expectations, but just don't make it an identity, because it is going to hurt if or when it doesn't come. I don't want to wear this. There we go. There we go. No one's really gonna see my bracelets, but I guess I could put them on. Should I stack? Should I stack or should I not? Okay, I have some like bracelets here. I think I bought these in Cape Fur, so I'm gonna put some of them on. I'm only gonna put like 2 like that. I'm not gonna put too much on to just complete the look. And then my perfume is not in this room. I do have one here actually. I'm not gonna show it because it looks a bit crusty, honestly, but I can put it on the screen because I love the smell of this. I'm not a big fan of chocolate, but it makes me smell like chocolate. I've been definitely feeling the pressure to have a plan and have everything figured out, especially like I said, you're coming from like an immigrant household. They want to make sure that you are set. You know, they put you in college and you are presented with all these opportunities, and I've had great internship opportunities. I'm currently interning summer right now, and if things don't go the way that I want them to, then I will most likely need like a job offer from them. It'd be pretty cool, but I just have to stay in the city, and I don't think I want to stay in the city right now. I have big goals for myself, and there's just so many ways that God can make my direction go in, and I don't want to be stuck on the past. I talked about this a little bit on my TikTok page. I don't want to be stuck in the past. I don't want my past expectations of what I should be, where I should be, who I should be with currently lead and dictate all of my life decisions and directions. I kind of just want to live in the present. Like, okay, right now, what is it that you want? So what do you want out of life right now? What do you want out of college right now? What do you want out of this experience right now, you know? And I want to just focus so much more on just me currently, and not the kind of life that I thought I would have when I was a kid, because so much has changed. Like I said, in 4 years so much has changed, and I don't know, a bit of a jump in topic, but like, look what my sister got me for my birthday. I'm gonna be traveling a lot. Like, I want to be an international lawyer, so I'm trying to build up my international experience, and she got me this gorgeous pink, beautiful holder. Like, holy crap, that's gorgeous. Thank you so much. I'm about to take my senior pictures, and it feels like the end, and I don't want to think about it because I know myself and I know I'm going to start crying. I want to think about it as like, okay, I'm entering into like a new era, a new path. Like, I'm in my early 20s. There's a chance to really see more of what life has to offer, and I'm just so excited. So yeah, I'm gonna take these pictures. I hope you guys liked the tutorial or the bead. I really do hope you guys like it. I tried my very best to make it something that I'll be proud of, but also simple enough that you guys could follow. And yeah, I'm honestly, like, I feel amazing. I look amazing. Let's get these pictures taken and let's develop more women in power. Bye.